Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 5 of the I Do Wedding Marketing podcast. My name is Nina Adio, and I'd like to thank you for allowing this podcast into your earbuds, your Bluetooth, your car radio, wherever you are listening from. On the I Do Wedding Marketing podcast, I discuss tips and tricks for wedding pros to DIY their social media or gain the confidence to outsource it. Now, before I get into today's topic of doing your own social media audit, I wanted to let you know that I am doing a giveaway for a free 30-minute consultation call with me. All you have to do is review this podcast on Apple Podcasts and send a screenshot of your review to me by email at hello@idoweddingmarketing.com or Instagram via message at idoweddingmarketing. This is a brand new podcast, and your reviews have a huge impact on its reach. I will now announce here on the podcast when this contest ends and who is the winner. Now, let's get to our topic. I opened up last episode discussing how this year we structure things and how we structure things may be a little different than usual. Typically during the late fall, I would have a lot of time with less bookings to focus on other tasks for a brand like corporate outreach, gathering reviews, and most importantly, preparing social media profiles for engagement season. However, this year for my DIY clients, as I call it, or rather those who I consult on their social media rather than manage their social media, I recommend starting to audit your profile slowly but surely between now and engagement season. So typically engagement season, by the way, starts at Thanksgiving, hits heavy at Christmas, big at New Year's, and then I say lasts through Valentine's Day. That's when you get the last big, surge. So, I'm getting distracted as I talk because have you been watching these YouTube videos of people doing these great Dollar Tree fall displays? So I did one, and right now the cat just jumped up to it and is trying to eat the artificial flowers. So, if you hear any alarming noises, it's just Buster. So this year we have a wedding season that is more like a wedding year, but one thing hasn't changed, and that's engagement season. So we still predict that engagement season is going to hit hard on top of you having more weddings for 2021. As we get to the final months of the year, we can expect all of these increases in your inquiries and whatnot, which is exciting and daunting. That's why planning ahead is your best option, especially now because wedding season or your wedding year is a little different. You may have more weekday weddings and winter weddings when normally you would have that downtime to prepare for engagement season. So remember, this is something you can do on your own, or hearing my tips, you can get comfort in outsourcing this. This is something we could do for you or somebody could do for you. Before engagement season, I love to do just a complete social media audit. This includes websites, social media profiles, online listings, anywhere your business can be found online. In part 1, last week's episode, which you can go back and listen to after this one, I discussed how I audit Instagram profiles in specific, because that is a huge free lead source lately. But now let's discuss what else I do. And while Instagram is a free listing, I want to talk about your paid for listings. This will be sites like The Knot, Wedding Wire, Wedding Spot, etc. By the way, let me know if you'd like an in-depth episode on all these platforms and maybe a review on them by messaging me on Instagram at I Do Wedding Marketing. So these sites can be a prosperous lead source for some professionals, but is the information you have on your profile accurate? I often review professionals' pages on The Knot, and you would not believe how many accounts have a broken Instagram link. That one in particular, they put the entire URL to Instagram instead of just the username, which is what The Knot is asking for, and that causes the hyperlink not to work. So check your links. Check all of your links on all of your online listings. Make sure everything is correct, working and leading people where you want them to go. Because remember, your goal is different from The Knots or Wedding Wire or any other site. The Knot wants people to stay on their platform as long as possible. My cat just dropped a piece of mail to me from the shelf he was on. Thank you. That's like a little mail delivery. Okay. So The Knot wants people to stay on their platform as long as possible. They want someone to message you on The Knot and stay on to message every other professional in your area. Your goal is to get someone off of The Knot and onto your page, where the only professional they can reach is you. So check your links so you don't miss your chance on that happening. After you check your links, review your images. Do you have new ones from the past year you'd like to showcase? Has your space been renovated? Do you have better quality images since your initial listing? Or perhaps some micro weddings and elopement options you'd like to incorporate on there to show your range. These are things to consider when reviewing the gallery of images you have on The Knot. There could be more online listings you aren't even aware your business is on, like Yelp or other free listing sites. Type your business name into Google, do a search, and see where else you are appearing so you can apply these same action steps. Let's move on to Facebook. The same is going to apply for the links, so check that information again. When I have time to do a hard check on Facebook like this, that's the time when I look to see if a profile is taking advantage of all the platform's features. For example, have you turned on automated messaging? Messaging is a space where people expect an instant response, no matter the time or day. So having an automated message can help manage expectations for a response time. An example for a venue that I represent, I would have an automated message letting people know our hours and where they can get in touch, because they wanted people going directly to the phone number or website. Or if you do respond on your Facebook, you can let them know your business hours and when to expect a response. So this way, if you respond sooner, great, but you also manage the expectation for it. Also on Facebook, review your profile photo and cover photo. I love changing this up maybe once a year or so. If your profile photo is a logo or headshot, then maybe you don't need to change that, but perhaps there's a new cover photo you'd like to implement. Sometimes doing this seasonally is really nice as well. So you can have different images that represent the different seasons of weddings, because who doesn't love fun wedding themes for each season? Now look into your About page on Facebook as well. Facebook has a lot of information there, your hours, location, and other details. Make sure that is all correct. Like on Instagram, which I mentioned in part 1, I use this time to remove any photos that are no longer relevant, like an image that maybe said closed for snow, or an outdated event promotion with pricing. One of the venues I represented did an annual Easter brunch, and I caught on quick that people would refer to a previous year's posting for pricing and demand to have it honored despite the year and date being on it. So for me, I learned that hiding or removing that post just worked better for them. It was no longer relevant information. It wasn't helping us because it was getting people upset about the new higher price. So I would just remove those each year. So this way they would just see the new event and wouldn't even know the price increased. Now, it's definitely important to review your website during this time as well. I learned great tips today, actually, for how to present information on your website from Sarah Does SEO. She's an SEO specialist specifically for wedding professionals. So she will have a lot of great information for you if you check her out on Instagram at Sarah Does SEO. But some notes I can give you for updating your website, in addition to clicking and checking every link, is consider updating your testimonials, services, or anything that may have changed in the past year. This could be your vendor referrals as well. Maybe you have photos now from a venue that you referred at, or you've updated your recommended vendor list. Maybe you've added some menus or packages, things like that. Some of my clients have added their options for elopements or micro weddings since 2020. While we are in 2021, approaching 2022, the small micro wedding is still a trend and may be worth mentioning if it's something you offer. Now, if you need more one-on-one instruction for this topic, you can contact me on my Instagram or on my website, where you can schedule an hour strategy call with me for your business. Do you have something else you'd like to hear my take on for this podcast? Send me a message at I Do Wedding Marketing on Instagram, or send me an email at hello@idoweddingmarketing.com. I'd love to hear about it. I also welcome your comments, suggestions, and your recommendations for future guests as we build this podcast. And don't forget, leave an Apple review and send a screenshot to me at hello@idoweddingmarketing.com or on Instagram at idoweddingmarketing for a chance for a 30-minute call with me to answer your questions. New episodes of the I Do Wedding Marketing podcast drop every Wednesday. I'm also live on Instagram every Wedding Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern at I Do Wedding Marketing. You can learn more about my services and inquire about working together at www.idoweddingmarketing.com. Thanks for being here, and until next week, bye-bye.